Kamala Harris pushes back and reports she was, quote, set up to fail, and suggesting anyone who dares to criticize her is racist and sexist.
No, I don't believe I'm being set up to fail. But
because these are Democrats saying this.
But more important, I'm Vice President of the United States. Anything that I handle is because it's a tough issue, and it couldn't be handled at some other level.
Is the fact that you're a woman and the fact that you are a minority in this office part of why there is such scrutiny?
I'll leave that for others to deal with. I have a job to do, and I'm going to get that job done.
And so much for the border crisis. Here's what the VP says is her biggest failure.
What do you think your biggest failure has been at this point?
To not get out of D.C. more. I mean, and I actually mean that sincerely.
Katie, help me out here. She has horrible issues with her image. The moviehood actors classroom setting didn't quite go to plan. Isn't it? And you and I kind of cut from the same cloth. The only way you improve your view in the public is by accountability and the deeds that you do that are successful. Mm-hmm. Can she ever give us that, or is it just too much to even think about or wish for?
Well, first, I would say her biggest failure is not getting that laugh under control when she's asked serious questions during interviews. And that question from Margaret Brennan was so leading and biased to say, well, are you basically sure that it's not because you're a woman and a woman of color? Have they been paying attention to the Trump administration and the way the media treated President Trump, who is a white male? Kamala Harris had an opportunity here. She made history. She has an opportunity to make something of that history. And instead, she's sitting back and acting like she's some kind of victim instead of digging into the issues. She's been given a portfolio of very serious topics and yet has done hardly anything to make it work and to become successful. And it's because Kamala Harris was a pick from Joe Biden as a gift to the far left. Let's not forget she was the most liberal senator in the Senate. She even beat Bernie Sanders back in the day. And he needed that kind of base to get him across the finish line in November, which is why he picked her among other issues. And so, she has an opportunity here to really do some good with her office. And yet she's just turning around and basically throwing up her hands and saying, well, I'm not being treated well because I'm a woman and because I'm a woman of color, and that's just not true. She hasn't delivered results on the portfolio that the president has given her.
Jason, it's astounding to me. I don't ever remember hearing Barack Obama ever play that word as an excuse for not getting things done. And my grandmother always used to tell me it's not what you're called or what happens to you, it's what you do with it. When you think about how you can fix problems, you can never fix the problem if it's always the imaginary monster, if it's always racism, if it's always sexism. There's no really to gauge that. When does that stop? Doesn't that just hurt the Democratic Party when accountability is right there?
Absolutely. It totally does. Look, her biggest failure is that she has no accomplishments. And her biggest failure is the fact that she said she was the last one in the room talking to Joe Biden before they made that incredibly botched attempt at extraction of our troops out of Afghanistan. She's given the border assignment, and yet you talk to Henry Cuellar, a Democrat whose congressional district encompasses about 200 miles of the border with Mexico. And even he says she seems totally disinterested, can't even get her to return a call to a Democratic congressman. So you go down the list, the Guatemalan president said, yeah, she came and visited, then I haven't heard from her since July. The list goes long, and her number one chore, quite frankly, given that she was a former United States senator, was to help usher through the president's agenda through the Senate and the House, and they have all Democrats. Pence did that for Trump. Cheney did that for Bush. But I got to tell you, Kamala Harris, I cannot figure what she's doing other than sending her own staff to get psychological help because they feel so hit by Kamala Harris.
Richard, let me ask you, if you were sitting in a table right now with her to give her advice to how to turn around this whole image thing and get the American people back on board, what would your first sentence be?
I think that she needs to do more interviews like we saw. Oh, sorry. I thought it was Richard.
Go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was you, bro.
Oh, okay. Listen, I think there's a couple things here. I think the first thing she's got to do is do more interviews like the one we just saw her do this past weekend with Margaret Benner. But I do think that she actually has to engage journalists who speak to the Democratic base, right? When we know the Democratic base, the most loyal Democratic voter is a black woman. So why isn't she talking to folks like Harris Faulkner? Why isn't she having interviews with Yamiche Alcindor? Why isn't she sitting down with April Ryan and Tamron Hall and other black female journalists so she can begin to have a conversation with Black America? And I think the first thing she says in that conversation is she apologizes for this White House's mistreatment of Haitian refugees at the southern border of the United States. That's why a lot of African American voters have consternation with the vice president's office, because she's in charge for the border. And I do think those African American voters are looking for answers.
Rachel, final thoughts. Take it home.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to respond to what Richard said. Her problem isn't with black voters. They may be not happy with her or embarrassed by the poll numbers that the Biden administration and Vice President Harris has right now as the first black VP. But they're going to vote for her. The real problem that this administration and Kamala Harris in particularly has is with Hispanic voters. They are bleeding Hispanic voters. They will not win any future election without them. And part of the problem, a big part of that problem, is what is happening at our border. A lot of Hispanics live along that border. They know exactly what happens. They deal with the dead bodies in their ranches. They deal with the crime wave, the sex trafficking, the jobs they lost, building our wall, infrastructure jobs that they lost as they see panels rusting. Yeah, she could get out of D.C. and visit with those Hispanics, because they're going to lose the next election if they don't get those Hispanics back on track. I don't see them making any attempts to do that.
Enough said on that one. Coming up, it's a red state. Boom! Why are thousands saying sayonara to the liberal blue states?
It's tricky to rock around. That's right, on time is tricky. How is it, D? It's tricky. It's tricky to rock around. That's right, on time is tricky. Tricky. In New York, the people talk.
Subway's Eat Fresh Refresh has so many new footlongs. Here's how they line up. We got the new Chicken and Bacon Ranch, new Baja Steak and Jack, and the new Baja Chicken and Bacon, a.k.a. The Smoke Show. Save big. Order through the app.
I'm Dr. Brendan White. I've been an optometrist for 29 years now. I started taking Balance of Nature fruits and vegetables 20-something years ago, and I've been taking it ever since. My practice is called Envision Eye Health. We're all about preventative eye care. One of the things established from eye research is fruits and vegetables are good for our eye health. So I've always liked Balance of Nature from that sense. And the concept is clear from the title. This is the way our nutrition was meant to be acquired, through fruits and vegetables. So my favorite question I get when I'm working in my clinic is, "Doctor, well, what do you do?" And I tell them I take Balance of Nature. It's a great product, and I can't think of another product that has a more broad-reaching scale of things that it can improve in our health.
Start your journey to better health. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com, and don't forget to get 35% off your first preferred order by using discount code Fox News.
Oh, my life is changing every day. In every possible way. I want more. Impossible to ignore. Impossible to ignore.
Priceline can help you make the most of your budget, saving you up to 40% on your flight. Ooh, we have a comment from the airport announcers. What? Not better. Priceline. Every trip is a big deal.
This is Kate. She always wanted her smile to shine. Now she uses a capful of TheraBreath Healthy Smile Oral Rinse to give her the healthy, sparkly smile she always wanted. TheraBreath. It's a better mouthwash at Walmart, Target, and other fine stores.
It's the Nutrisystem 50th anniversary celebration. To celebrate this anniversary, Nutrisystem has a limited time special deal for you.
Get 50% off a month of meals and 50% off a month of new low glycemic shakes to sustain energy and crush hunger. And get premium meals that are 50% bigger with up to 30 grams of protein.
Happy 50th anniversary, Nutrisystem.
I never thought I could lose so much weight, but I did it.
Thanks for changing my life.
You think you know Nutrisystem? Think again.
Get new restaurant faves that taste like your favorite restaurant, delivered to your door. It's a high-protein, low-glycemic approach to help you keep your blood sugar levels steady.
Think of all the diets that have come and gone. The fads, the magic pills, the books, the apps. You know who's still helping people lose millions of pounds? Nutrisystem. Go online or call right now.
Go online or call 888-908-THIN to get 50% off on a month of meals and shakes.
It's a celebration. Get ready for the holiday. Let's have the time of our lives. You can feel it. You can feel it.
Unwrap all our holiday channels with a very merry offer.
When you use Constant Contact, prepare accordingly. Let's win this with email marketing and more to drive your business forward. Try it free at ConstantContact.com.